Well, we're back again, boys and girls, and today you get a chance to see the rear module, the rear EDM. So what we're going to do is we're going to look a little bit at the bits and pieces that are associated with this. And let's start off with the fact that this is a double isolated system. So it's isolated from the body in white, and it's also isolated from the motor drive system. So this is going to give you a much better or much less vibration coming back into the vehicle. So let's look at unique changes that are that occur on this particular design. So if you see a red dot, that means that it's different. So the knuckle is different, and this one arm is different. So the reason that they probably went to it is because this is a little more expensive. It's machined and it's bent. It's a serious piece of material here. This one is two stampings, and quite frankly they look like they're symmetrical, so I'm assuming that it's actually one stamping that's glued together with its brother. So this and this with a seam weld in the center, or an arc weld in the center, is going to be probably a little bit cheaper than what something like that would be. And it might not be, it's not really taking up as much load as its siblings. So that's those are three of the things that we're looking at that's different here at the end of the knuckle. The other things that are different are the shock absorber, the spring bushing, and this bushing right here. And we also think of something else. We're looking at this area right here, and you know, there's every reason to believe that if they wanted to, they could move away from standard coil suspension system and move to something else. And what's causing us to believe that is what we see over here. So let's kind of like pull in, and I'm going to read off what's on this little teeny tiny marker here. So this one here says it's trying to figure out which components or which options it's got. This one says North America, all-wheel drive, left-hand drive, and coil suspension, coil spring suspension. So why would I put that down there if maybe there wasn't an option? So I'm going to take a look at this and say, you know what, maybe what we've got here is a potential for moving away from a conventional rear suspension and moving toward something that might be like an air or a magnetic suspension system. We've got lots of examples. People have been bringing us in new styles for a different type of suspension system. And really and truly, there's a lot of good advantages. So you get ride height changes. So you go faster, you want to be lower. We've got a lot of people that are a little older, or people who are handicapped. And it'd be a lot easier for them to get in and out of the vehicle if the car would kneel. So that means that you just lower the whole car so that it'd be easier for ingress and egress. We think that there's some probably surprises in here. We're going to have a look at that as we take it apart a little bit more, but let's move on to the next. Now that we've gotten the rear motor out of the carriage. So let's talk a little bit about, first off, the Model 3 and how it compares here to the Model Y. So let's look at these two right now. We're thinking that these laminates that are in the Model 3 are going to be the same as what we're going to be finding here in the Model Y. Now you'll see me dancing here a little bit because these magnets are wicked strong, but if we look, we can see that they're pretty close, if not dead accurate to each other. So let's leave that for now. No, we can't. I got to get that off. So anyway, let's talk about these end plates. And here you can see they've made a change. So they've gone from a type of stainless steel, an austenitic stainless steel, which means that this plate is not magnetic. Stainless steel, if it's high enough, like 316 stainless, it isn't magnetic. So it's kind of like sitting there These holes here that you see, those holes are for balancing to make sure at high speeds this thing doesn't get a wobble and whatnot. Let's look over here and we can see that this plate is made out of aluminum. And you can see that these dished holes, these balancing holes, are a little bit different. These ones got a point on them and these ones are flat. So that's a drill kind of, and this is a flat bottom mill. Now, as we look at these two electric motors, we can see that they both have the shift. And the reason you do that is for noise and also harmonics. This thing, I want this to run as smooth as it possibly can, and having that shift in there makes it so that there's a little bit of a skew that makes it so that the motor will run and generate the power that it's supposed to generate without getting little bumps and spikes. Now, let's take a look at how the Model Y rear motor, which is IPM, and and you can see that thing starting to dance already, and our induction motor, and you can see that they're smaller in diameter over here, and we already talked quite a bit about how this thing is constructed, but it's smaller in diameter. It's not nearly as long as what the PM motor is. So we know that there's differences, but let's look at something that we find kind of amazing. It uses the same squirter ring. So if we go over here and put this on here, you can see that this stator, the ring fits nicely. Let's go over here and have a look at the stator for the induction motor, the front motor. Same thing, it's got the same amount of clearance. So what we found is that the bread carriage here for both of these units is slightly different. This one's a little bit bigger, that one's a little bit squashed a little bit. And we're wondering a little bit about how it all comes together here. So there's a couple of mysteries that we're still going to be looking at. But in essence, we've got some measuring to do, and we have some little calculations that we want to get. We're going to be looking at whether or not this case is using the same magic ingredients, the same alloys as what we found last time. And this time we're going to check both of these together. So the last thing that I want to talk a little bit about is this right here. See this threaded portion? That threaded portion normally would have a nut on it. This one did. This one had a bearing lock nut on it. This one came without that bearing lock nut. That's a good idea. Having that bearing lock nut disappear is less cost and less operations. Anything that I can do to make it lighter is also a good thing. Lighter is better. All I am doing here, this doesn't add anything to the power. All this does is add to the weight. So a couple of cute little things that we found with the front and rear motors. We're going to be looking at a lot more detail when it comes to this product. So hopefully in the future we'll be able to give you a little more tips. So speaking of tips, why don't you make sure that you give those cashiers a little something to help them out, and we'll be talking to you shortly. Have a great day.